So by the time y'all see this, I'll already be at my destination, but I just wanted to touch base, say hello. I haven't been on in a minute, and I wanted to give a little warning about jugging. I don't know if you guys are hearing this upsurge with jugging, and that is like where someone follows you to an ATM, or they're behind you in an ATM, and then they follow you after you get the money out. They follow you and rob you. So if you are going out on a road trip or doing any kind of thing like that, just be careful, be aware of your surroundings, and make sure you and your family are safe, because people are getting crazy out here and you have to be prepared. So we are headed to the Outer Banks in North Carolina. So I'm going to be there for about 6 days. And I needed the break. I needed some downtime. So I was like, the weather is perfect for the beach. So let's go to the beach. So I will talk to you guys soon, and peace out. I just figured I'd go over a couple of the places that we visited while there. One was the Wright Brothers Museum. My husband is very much into aviation and things like that. So this is just a view of the entire thing. It's a really kind of sprawling place. You go inside and they have like a historical backdrop of everything from the first flight to their families. And I actually was surprised to find out that Orville's best friend from high school was actually a black man. Then they have a lot of the information about how they built their first airplanes and where they started and progressed. And this is the actual replica of what they actually used on their first flight. I thought that was pretty cool. It's huge though. But yeah, that's the replica there. And then you kind of go outside and there's a replica of where they lived while they were there at Kitty Hawk. And these two buildings kind of represent that, and it allows you to see what they lived in while they were there and what they were doing. So I'm going to show a little bit of the inside here so you can see kind of like the living quarters and all that good stuff. Has some more information there and just kind of how things were set up there. Probably not the real stuff, but just replicas of what they would have used. And then this little marker here marks the spot of where the first flight took place. And they have actual markers of each area of the flight, because there were 3 distinct points. And that's what it looks like as you walk down to see the individual flight points. You just walk past the actual museum portion. This is just to give you a view of how far everything is. And these markers indicate the first, second, and third flight. I think the first flights were 12 seconds, then followed by 15, and then 59 seconds was the longest flight. And this is the actual runway that they went down. They used rails to launch the first flight. And there is an actual airport, a small airport right beside. So I actually filmed a plane coming into that airport right beside the memorial. And then we just took off to see the actual monument that they put up there. It's a pretty long walk and it was pretty hot, but we really enjoyed it. And this is what that looks like. And we walked up the stairs and kind of looked inside the monument too. Not very much to see, but I walked up there just to see what was inside the actual monument. And it was just like little storage areas and some more informational things in there. And I just kind of looked around to see what it looked like in there. They don't really let you go in there, so you can only look from the entranceway. And yeah, that's the information they had up there. And then these are the little statues they have outside. They had one for Orville, and then I walked over and saw the one for Wilbur. And really, it's an awesome sight to see. It overlooks the ocean and everything. And then their little monument there. Excited to see the wild horses. I'm kind of excited.
Spanish wild horses?
Because I've never seen them before. Then I think a couple of days later we went out to see the wild horses, because there are wild horses on the coast of North Carolina. And I had never seen them.
We should get ourselves
How
good they look, because if you had a domesticated horse, you would have to brush it, comb out its baby.
There's a baby laying down.
Yeah, is there a baby laying down? Yeah, they do look pretty magical.
There's a little baby that's laying
down. And in my mind, that's a testament to how perfectly suited. Oh, there's a baby there sleeping right there. Oh.
So we were told there used to be thousands of wild horses out there, but over the course of time, at one point they were being hunted, and then they were actually being picked up by people and just taking them home. In fact, the Boy Scouts were doing that for a little while there. One of the Boy Scout leaders had a little ranch where he was teaching them how to handle horses and was doing that. So now we're only down to about 100 plus on the coast, but they recently had about 8 fawns that were born. Then, of course, we had a couple of drinks and just kind of sat out and enjoyed the view. We didn't really get on the beach this day. We just kind of sat out and looked around and enjoyed some drinks and sat in the little rocking chairs. But we did hit the beach the next day. And while we were out there, we saw some dolphins. It was a mother dolphin and a baby. So if you'll look, you'll see one fin and then a second fin. The second fin was the little baby that she had with her. So that was an amazing sight to see. Everybody was in awe, oh my God, it's a dolphin. So we did get to see that out there. And we saw this little guy here. He was actually tagged, and we looked up his info, sent it to the USGS, and they sent information back on him. So if you ever see a tagged animal, you can actually, if you can get a good picture of the tag or view it, you can actually send that to the USGS, and they will tell you where they were tagged, what year approximately, and give you some background information of where the animal came from. And that's what we did. This fellow was tagged in Virginia in about 2022, so he's mature but pretty young. Just wanted to let you guys know that I'm still around and I'll be back soon. I just needed a little vacay to get away, and I will be back. I can't wait to get back and talk about some more financial content. So peace out.